Okay, today's plan is to get the engine compartment buttoned up. We got to get all the wiring done, all the hoses run, and we got to get it done today so we can get moving on to the inside. Let's do it. Now we've got the wheel well back in place, which was fun. Got the computers back in here. They got to be dealt with. All the wiring. All that corner is now buttoned up. All the lines, everything. That's a big, big deal. Big deal. So all the air conditioning lines from inside the car are now through. This is all that needs to be hooked up lines-wise. The heater lines are hooked up. They're down there. Once the computers are in and that wiring mess is dealt with, then the battery tray can go in, the battery. And then we just got to deal with this wiring and the wiring for the AC right here. So, lots going on. Working in this corner over here, we've got the ECU mounted and the fuse panel. This is all LS swap stuff. So that's all in. Power lines for the amplifiers, for that unit, and for ignition, I believe. Here's wiring for AC still needs to be dealt with, and AC lines. The next thing is to get the lines from the condenser over here and get the dryer mounted, because the dryer's got to sit in this area too. Making headway. Let me give you a little update here. So we have now mounted the dryer right here. The line that came with the kit, which is right here, would have come up into the car off of the condenser and up into this area that direction. But the problem is it dumps that line right at this computer. So I've gone ahead and mounted it here, and I went over to the Fridge King AC shop, and he gave me the materials necessary to make a rubber line that's going to go off of that bottom fitting on the bottom of the condenser here. That would be right there. And then it's going to come up, rubber line over to the back end here, and then this smaller number 6 is going to come underneath the battery tray into a 90 and then up into that. So, wow, big strides, big strides. It is another day and I'm back in the garage, and today I'm going to do something that I've been kind of putting off for a while, but it's time to do, and that's finalize the wiring in the engine compartment. Now, I have not even touched the starter at all. I haven't been down to the starter. I haven't removed any wires from the starter of the old wiring. That's going to have to get handled. And the new wiring for the starter and alternator are going to have to go in. Let me show you what I got. As part of the American Auto Wire kit, we've got what they call the Mega Fuse. I've already assembled this. This is a large 175 amp fuse. This is going to be awesome. I've got this 6-gauge wire. This is going to deal with the starter and alternator, and this really brings up the size gauge of the wire that was in the car. Let me show you the difference. This was the alternator wire before. This is like a 10-gauge wire, and this is 6. Okay, so this was the alternator wire before. This is definitely going to be an upgrade for power. This is what we got to do. We got to get the power down to the battery, over to this relay or fuse, and then over to the alternator. So, and then we got to get the main power block connection made to the starter. So that's this wire here. We're going to get the wiring onto the windshield wiper and windshield squirter, and we're going to get these two white wires here are grounds, and power wire for the air conditioning. This is main power for the computer and power wire for the amplifiers in the trunk. And then we got temperature wire, which goes down here on the block, and I think this is an alternator wire. We got this wire I got to pull through. We got a few things to do. We're not done, but we're going to burn through it right now. Totally get this engine compartment completely buttoned up. Okay, big headway made on wiring the engine. So we've got all this wire over here for the windshield wiper and squirter dealt with. That's all crimped in. All the wires have been run. We've got the wire for the temperature sensor, and we ended up removing the wire for the alternator. That's already pre-wired into the ECU, so that's already handled. I do have one wire over here. This is for the oil pressure sensor, which is in the back of the engine back there. I got to get a connector for that. This is the old heater wire, or the heater wire for where the old heater motor would have been located. That's actually got to come out of the connector down there. And then we've run our main power wire for the new fuse panel over to here. This is going to the mega fuse, so we're going to mount the mega fuse over here, get that connected, and then we're going to start running our large 6-gauge wire to the starter, over to the mega fuse, alternator, all that. And then we've got to do the VVS wires for the speed controller for the speedometer, and then the engine area is wired. I think it's pretty much so done. Oh, once the mega fuse is in, the battery can go here, and then I can deal with these wires. This is the blue wire here goes to the air compressor, and then the red wire goes to the battery, and the two white wires go to the negative, so positive and negative on the battery. And that's the air conditioning will be done. So that's the only wiring left really in the engine compartment. Everything else is pretty much so done. But we did get the wires to the windshield wiper and squirter done. I did get one wire down to the starter, which turned into an absolute effing nightmare. I found some wires down there for the NOx sensor that were melted by the header. Had to deal with all of that. Had to go get some insulation to deal with that. Finally got the one wire down there for the starter, for the new wiring harness. And then I forgot that I had to crimp and send one of these wires down there, so I have to kind of not take it all apart, but I have to route this thing down there through that insulation sheath. I was hoping to get the mega fuse in and get all these wires for the air conditioning buttoned up, but no dice on that. That's going to have to be tomorrow. Frustrating day, but I did get some things done. Not nearly as much as I was hoping, but just like that, we'll be back tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe so you can follow this series. We're really making headway. A lot of this stuff is tedious work. It takes some time, but we're getting through it. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.